guys, welcome. Thanks for joining me. You've made it to another day that ends in Y. Congratulations. I think it's Friday. That's sometimes good, sometimes it doesn't matter anymore, but we've made it. We're going to do a bit of work today, so quite a bit of shoulder and hip mobility, active work, which means there's going to be a good amount of muscular engagement. And just try to listen to your body. I'll give you some cues that I would much rather you choose to feel the movement properly, if you will, rather than feel like, oh, it's probably more important that I make it look a certain way. Sometimes, but make it look a certain way that your body's giving you availability for. So that's kind of the key today, and I'll talk you through what I mean by that with some of the poses and some of the shapes that we're going to create, some of the strength moves that we're going to be doing. So yeah, hold on. You're going to feel really active and ready to go for whatever you're going to do later today. So yeah, let's get started. Thanks for joining me. We're going to start in child's pose. So you're going to come with your toes together, your knees are out wide. Sink your hips back, reach your arms forward, and settle into your space. So sometimes you might want to move around just a little bit, kind of get yourself as comfortable as you can in your child's pose, reaching your hips back. Once you feel settled in your pose, just take some normal breaths, whatever that means to you. However your body is asking you to breathe, go ahead and give in to that. Just honoring the natural rise and fall of your inhale and exhale. Allow some more moments to remind yourself to be kind in your thoughts on the way that your body is moving, kind in the way that you are feeling about how your body is moving. You made it to your mat. One more breath. Finish your exhale, come up to a tabletop pose. Let's go through a couple of cat-cows. Take your time here. As you let your inhale happen, tailbone is going to lift, releasing your rib cage toward your mat. Your head and heart will lift. See if you can release your shoulder blades toward each other as you come through cow. And then as you exhale into cat, really exaggerating the movement, this flexion of your spine, allowing your chin to come to chest to finish your exhale. Spreading wide your shoulders across your back. Inhaling through cow. Exhaling through cat. Take any organic movements that you might want. Maybe looking back toward an opposite here, toward your heel, coming into a bit of lateral flexion. Maybe taking some barrel rolls with your rib cage up and around. When you feel like you've got the kinks kind of worked out a bit, I want you to go through 3 cat-cows, and you're going to articulate each vertebrae one at a time. And that just means that you're going to pay attention to each vertebra one at a time. So kind of like you're playing your spine like a piano. we'll go through cow first. So allow the movement to happen from your tailbone. So start your inhale as you lift your tailbone, and then think one spine or one vertebra at a time going up your spine. It's of course going to take you more than just an inhale to get there, but just trying to get really saggy through your spine. This would be extension. And then as you go through cow or cat, wow, my words aren't working. Tuck your tailbone under, pushing up your vertebra one at a time toward the ceiling, allowing that movement to happen nice and slow. Once you get into your full cat, start with your tailbone again, releasing your tailbone, releasing your lower spine one at a time. Just trying to navigate, maybe noticing what part of your spine causes extra tension. So sometimes the mid-back can be a really tight spot, and you might become more aware of it as you move through these shapes slowly. Take one more, and I just want to recognize that moving slowly is sometimes really hard for our brain. So if you're kind of like, what else are we going to do, Jamie? I understand. I'm kind of in a similar person. So I just acknowledge that, and also acknowledge that slowing down and paying attention is a really good thing. So let's just allow our mind to stay in the moment. Stay present with what we're doing. All right, hopefully you've gone through 3 of those nice and slow. We're going to thread the needle next. So you'll inhale, left arm high. Let your left arm slide underneath. Shoulder's going to come to the ground. Take your right elbow, lift it up toward the ceiling. Walk your right fingertips to the left side of your mat as you come into your twist. And just breathe into the twist. So allow your right rib cage, feel like it's lifting up. Left rib cage is sliding through. One more breath. Finish your exhale, slowly release, inhaling your left arm back up, and then come to the other side, right arm high, inhale, and exhale, come through. Some of the movements we're going to do today you're going to feel them in your postural muscles in your back. So we're trying to just get some movement there, open up that space first before we really tap into those muscles. So hopefully you'll thank me for this later. Left rib cage lifting, right rib cage sliding through. One more exhale. Finish your exhale, unwind. Inhale your arm high. And release. All right, so we're going to come back into a tabletop pose. We're going to do some outer hip work here. So in my tabletop, I'm going to lift the lower belly. Keep your spine as straight as possible. So lengthen the crown of your head, lengthening the back of your neck too. Keep your chin hugging away from the ground. With your right leg, you're going to take your right knee straight out to the side. So flex your right toes. Lift your right knee straight out to the side without shifting onto your left hip. Find your end, and then bring it right back down nice and slow. We're going to do 6 of those. So again, bring your right knee out to the side without shifting onto your left hip. Find your end, and then come right back down. 4 more. Lift, find your end, go nice and slow, and lower. Lift. Slower than you want probably, and lower. 2 more, lift, and lower. Last one, lift, hugging the rib cage up and lower. And we're going to come to the other side. So again, not shifting onto the right hip. So as you lift the leg, sometimes we want to shift onto that opposite hip to lift higher. Try not to allow that to happen. So now you're going to flex your left toes, lift the left knee out to the side, not shifting onto the right hip, lower back down. 6 times here. Lift, find your end range, lower back down. Lifting up again. Keep lengthening the back of your neck, lower back down. Lift, lower, lift. Keep pushing the ground away. Try not to sag into your shoulders. Last one, lift. And lower back down. Take a quick little breather. Shake your wrists out if you need to. All right, we're going to take that up just a notch, dial it up just a little bit. You're going to do the same move with the knee, but now you're going to try to extend your leg out to the side. So I'll show you from the front view here. Again, your knees are about hip width apart. Your tabletop looks exactly the same. So from here, you're going to flex your right toes. You're going to lift your right knee out to the side. Stay stable as much as you can. Extend your legs towards straight. Then bring it back in, and then bring your knee to the ground. Stay on the same side. So again, lift the right knee. Extend the leg. Bring it back and back. Notice yourself. Try not to shift onto your left hip. Lift the right knee. Extend to the side. Bend the knee back in and bring it back in. One more. Lift the knee. Extend out. Lengthen the back of your neck. Bend it in. Bring it back down. All right, other side. Lengthen your spine. Flexing your left toes. Lift the knee. Push the ground away. Extend the leg. Bring it back in. Bring it back in. You'll definitely notice sides are different here. So you'll notice one side feeling a little bit more available. Extend. Back in. When you're extending your leg, you're wanting eventually to have your toes in line with your hip. So you're trying not to extend your leg back, but you're trying to extend it straight out to the side. One more. In line with the hip. Back in. Back in. You're going to shift your hips off to the side. Walk your hands to the other side for child's pose. So shift your hips off to the left. Walk your arms to the right. Couple breaths there, and then come to the other side, shifting your hips off and walking your hands to the other side. And release. All right, we're going to take a little breather on the hips. Do a little neck release and shoulder release. We've done this in class if you've done any of my classes already. We've done this before, so we'll start with the neck. You can either be on your knees here if it's comfortable to sit like this. You can sit up like here if this is better for you. Whatever works, okay? So we'll start with the head. You're going to take your chin and let your chin come down toward your chest. Head is just hanging down in the middle. Let your right ear roll toward your right shoulder. Take your chin, rotate your chin toward your shoulder. Tip your head back as you take it toward your back pocket. Let your chin come up and around. Your chin is going to go to your left shoulder. Then your ear to your left shoulder. Chin hangs down through the middle, head heavy, as you lift it right back up through the middle. Go to the other side. Chin hangs down. Lift your left shoulder. Chin to left shoulder, ear to back pocket, tip your head up and around, all the way around, chin to shoulder, ear to shoulder. Let your head hang down through the middle and lift up. Same thing, 2 more each side. Chin down, right ear, right shoulder, chin to shoulder, ear to back pocket, up and around, chin to shoulder, ear to shoulder. Let your head hang through the middle, lift back up, chin down, left ear, left shoulder, chin to left shoulder, ear to back pocket, up and around, chin to shoulder, ear to shoulder, chin hangs down, and lift back up. Please do another one if you feel like you need more, okay? You're going to come into shoulder stuff. You can do it sitting like this. My arms are a little too long. They kind of go on the floor, so I'm going to lift up. You're going to make a fist with your right hand or your left hand, okay? So make a fist. If you have a little tennis ball, you could squeeze it there as well. So make a fist. Palm is going to face your side body. Your thumb is facing forward. You're going to lift your right arm up. As you lift your right arm up, keep your rib cage pulled in. Keep your tailbone rooting down toward your knees. Take your bicep back behind your ear as much as it'll go. Wave your hand away, rotating pinky back. Thumb is going to face forward, palm is facing side. Reach your arm straight behind you. As you do, start to let your thumb rotate, inwardly spiraling so that your thumb is back and palm is facing away from you. And then you'll bring your arm right by your side. Then you're going to lift your arm up, so palm is away, thumb is facing back. Lift your arm up, find your end range. Drive the tip of the shoulder blade down into your back pocket as you reach through your fingertips, rotating, bringing your bicep back by your ear again, and then releasing your arm back down. So same thing, other side. A lot to think about. Make a fist. Take your hand, palm facing in, thumb facing forward. Take your arm straight up. Keep tucking your tailbone, bicep framing your face. Reach and rotate your hand away, reaching your hand behind you. Keep inwardly spiraling. Thumb is going to rotate. Palm away. Your arm is up as high as it will, and then bring your arm right back by your side. Lift your arm. Rotate, driving the tip of the shoulder blade into your back pocket. Thumb goes back, palm faces in, bicep back as much as it will, and then bring it right back and in. One more each side. Make your fist, take your arm straight up, find your end, wave your hand away, reach behind, inward rotate, thumb back, palm away, bring it right back by your side. Same thing, lift, reverse the order, and then bring it back. Make your fist, other side. You're really trying to go straight back with just your arm. Your whole body isn't rotating. So it's just your arm that's reaching back, trying not to rotate your shoulders, not letting your right shoulder come forward as your left shoulder goes back, reversing the order. And release. Again, if those felt really nice for you, do them again. 3 to 5 of them is great. 2 to 3 of them is great, kind of whatever you feel like you need. Now we're going to do the hips. So you're going to come into a tabletop pose. We've, again, done this one before. You're going to flex your right toes. Let your right knee, with a nice long spine, keep your spine long. With your right knee, bring your right knee toward your chest without curling your spine. Then let your knee come out to the side. Flex your foot. Lead with the knee, lead with the foot. Try not to lift or shift onto your left hip. Kick your foot back. As you lift the knee, start to rotate your knee toward the ground, lifting your lower belly. So your heel is pushing the ceiling away. Lower belly is lifting. And then you'll bring your knee back together to meet the one on the ground. Lift your heel, lift your knee back. We're going to reverse the order. Find your end range here. Then lift the knee out to the side, start to point it out, try not to shift onto your left hip. Let your knee come toward your tricep as much as it will, and then bring it right by your side. Changing to the other leg. So flex your left toes, stay nice and long. Bring your left knee in toward your chest, stay nice and long. Bring your heel out to the side, lift your knee, try not to shift onto your left hip. Lifting your foot, reaching your foot behind you. Once it's in line with your bum, start to point your knee down to the ground, lift your lower belly, and then bring your knees together to meet. Lift your heel, lift your knee, point your knee out to the side, keeping your spine long. Let your knee come toward your tricep as much as you can, and then bring knees together. One more each side. Right knee comes in, long spine. Lift the knee, lift the heel. Bring it out and around. Keep the heel lifting. Kick your foot behind you. Once your foot's in line with your bum, knee starts to point down. Lower belly actively lifting. Bring your knees together. Lift your heel, lift your knee. Bring the knee out to the side. Bring it around toward your your right tricep. I'm trying to mirror you. And bring it right back down. One more other side. All right, knee in. Flex your foot as you bring it out to the side. Long spine. Try not to let your hips move at all. Knee is going to start to point to the ground. Lifting your heel. Bring it right back down. Lift your heel, lift your knee. Lower belly lifting, lengthen your spine. Knee comes out to the side. As you bring it toward your tricep, and release. Okay, now we're warm. I'm not totally sweating. I am, actually. All right, let me just check where we are. Okay, so hopefully you have something that you can go over. If you don't have yoga blocks, you probably have books. That will work just fine. So go ahead and... I almost said go ahead and get your phone books. Do they still make phone books? I don't know. Question for your Friday. Grab books or blocks or books, and we're going to use them. So I'm going to spend a bit of time showing you what this looks like and giving you lots of options, just assuming that bodies are very different here and giving you options for what it might look like. So I'll show you from the front first, and then I'm going to show you from the side what can tend to happen and how the shape might look. So you're going to, with your legs extended, you're going to put your blocks right on the other sides of your ankles, okay? What we want to do is sit up as straight as you can. So you want to create a nice straight L shape. Now, I recognize that sometimes that's very difficult to have your legs straight and to sit up just straight up and down. That is a hard move for some bodies, okay? So I'm going to show you what you need to do if you're already feeling like, wow, this is not going to be easy, okay? So you can either keep both legs extended, or I like to bring one leg in, okay? And now I'm going to lift up as tall as I can, so making my spine nice and long, and even, again, through the back of my neck, I'm lengthening, pulling my chin in, and then I'm going to engage my, this is my right leg. I'm going to engage my right leg, pulling my lower belly up, okay, off my thigh, flexing the toes. I'm going to lift straight up and go over this block, and then bring it right back down. And we're going to go back in. Lift up, come over the block, and go right back down. Okay, we're going to do several on each side. So from the side view, what can tend to happen is that you're, if it's hard to sit straight up and down like this, we tend to rock back and tuck under and then make the move happen. What I want you to do is, if sitting up nice and tall like this is a big ask for your body, then I want you to use your hands. Lean back, sit up as straight as you can, keep lifting your lower belly, and then do the move, okay? So you're still nice and tall and not compromising or tucking under and rolling your spine. A lot of explanation, I know, but it's necessary. So here we go. We're going to do You might be on a different time. I cannot see your face, can't see. Maybe you're just gonna lay in Shavasana until we move on to something different. That's totally fine. All right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do 6 over and back on the right leg, 6 over and back on the left leg, okay? So I'm gonna tuck my left leg in, I'm not mirroring you. You're gonna extend your right leg. My heels lift up off the ground just because my legs kind of overextend. So lifting the lower belly up, sit up nice and tall, leg comes up, take it over the block or the books, bring it back down, lift up, bring it over, and bring it back down. Now you can also make it a little bit more of an ask if your body's like, give me more, okay? Lifting up, take it over to the side. Now don't do that just because I want to see if I can really get it and I'm going to compromise my movement and my shape just to go bigger, okay? It's not really important to do that. It's more important to keep your shape working for you as you come up and over, okay? So I'm assuming that you have continued to move through and you're counting for yourself. So I'm going to change to the other side. You're doing 6 on each side. Sitting up nice and tall, lifting up, coming over that block. Keep lifting nice and tall, up and over that block. Really great hip flexor strength here, lower core strength. As long as you're lifting your lower core, you're getting that strength as well. And you might feel this in your postural muscles, okay? Depending on how hard it is for you to sit just in that L shape. So give yourself a little break and put your hands behind you, lift up nice and tall so your postural muscles can soften just a little bit. All right, when you're finished with your blocks right next to you, you're going to take your blocks out so they would be about 10 and 2. And then we're going to do the same thing. So you'll slide your right leg close to the block. Hands can again be here. You're going to lift up through your spine, lengthening, and lift, come out, and drop it back down. Now going in, for me, this part's the hardest one when the blocks are out wider. Lift up, bring it back in, just going over the block, okay? 6 times here. Lifting up, still sitting up nice and tall. I'm going to change my viewpoint just in case it helps to see lifting up, sitting up as straight as you can, okay? Lift up, 6 here, out at 2 o'clock with your right leg. Oh my gosh, seriously, these are so hard. Okay, you'll switch when you're ready, going to the other side. So now you're working with the left leg at about 10 o'clock. You'll notice again, sides are different. Try to keep your toes up, knees up. Six times. I think I have one more. I'm really bad at counting. Oh my goodness. What's going to feel amazing is what we do next. We're going to do a hip bridge next. So hopefully you have a block. If not, I wouldn't recommend using a book. It's not going to work out so well for you. If you have a yoga block, we'll use it. If not, you can just do it without the block, okay? Actually, I'll flip around and face this way. All right, so laying on your back, you're going to push into your heels, bend your knees. Your heels are toward your bum. Push into your heels to lift your hips up. And then slide your block on the second level here. Slide your block underneath the top of your bum, right where your sacrum is, the lowest part of your spine. And then just let your pelvis kind of melt into the block, relaxing your arms. Now, if you don't have a block, you're just pushing your heel into your heels to lift your bum up nice and high, opening up the front side of the body. Palms are facing the ground. More of an active approach. And if you have a block but you would rather be active with it, by all means, we're going to do some active hip bridge work here, so you might give yourself a break on the block. Take just a couple more breaths. Go ahead and release the block out from underneath you if you had it, or release your bum just to the ground. You're going to walk your feet out to the edges of your mat and let your knees fall to the side. So windshield wipering your legs. As your knees fall to the right, let your gaze fall off to the left. Bring your knees up through center on your inhale. Exhale, switch the sides. So knees fall to the left, gaze falls to the right. Go through that a couple of times. Inhale through center, exhale, knees fall. Inhale through center, exhale, knees fall. All right, so with your knees pointing straight back up to the ceiling, we're going to do a little bit of hip bridge work. So you want your heels so they're out of the reach of your hands. Now, when you press up into your hip bridge, lifting your hips up off the ground, you want to send your energy into your shoulders. So press your heels down to the ground and away from you slightly so that we're not using the quads here, okay? With your tailbone, you're going to tuck your tailbone toward your knees, pull your lower belly in, push into your left foot to lift your right leg straight up to the ceiling, and slowly lower back down. Make sure your feet land hip width apart, push into your right foot to lift the left leg up. Nice and slow, bring it right back down. Keep your lower belly pulling in, keep your tailbone rooting toward your knees. Again, push into your left foot, lift your right leg, lower back down, push into your right to lift the left, lower back down. Do 3 more on each side. Make sure each time you put your foot back down that it goes hip width apart. Sometimes there's a temptation to wiggle it into the center and make it a little easier for you. If you're feeling any negative attention in your low back from doing these hip bridge walks, just hold your hip bridge. As your leg comes up to the ceiling, try to keep your hips the same level, so don't let one hip dip down. I have 1 more on each side. And bring your hips back down when you're done. You're going to bring your knees toward your armpits. Keep your tailbone rooting toward the ground, maybe rock side to side. Woo, those always get me. All right, for a quick little release, take your knees up to a 90 degrees. We're going to do a spinal twist. If you want to take eagle legs, you'll let your left knee come and cross on top of your right knee, maybe taking that double wrap with your left foot behind your right calf, and let your knees fall to the right side of your mat and gaze off to the left. I like to use my right hand just to kind of ground my knee complex as I gaze to the side. Really breathe into the twist here. We're going to stay here for a little bit, releasing the postural muscles. Feel a nice stretch to your hip. One more breath. Good. I like to bring my gaze back to the right before I roll back onto my back, just to straighten out your spine a little bit before you roll onto your back. And then we'll go to the other side. So right knee is going to cross over the left. if you took eagle legs and then let it fall to the left side of your mat. Letting your gaze come to the right. So we're in this really twisted shape here, and sometimes when people say they kind of throw their back out, it usually happens coming from a twist to a straight spine. So if I don't untwist my spine before I roll onto my back, it's kind of an easy and a vulnerable shape here to be able to like put extra stress on your body as you come back to center. So instead of potentially hurting yourself coming out of the shape, it's easy enough. Just go ahead and finish one more breath here. Just to roll yourself back onto the left side, unwind your legs, and then roll onto your back. It might seem like I'm overdoing it until you throw your back out once, and then you'll realize, oh, wait a second, that's maybe a good way to go. All right. Hopefully that feels good. Go ahead and rock and roll your way up. We're going to come up to a seated pose. I'll adjust my hair here. All right, we're going to work now on some shoulder stuff. So what you need is a wall, and then again, hopefully you have a block. If you don't have a block, you might be able to do this with a book, and you might not really necessarily need the block. The block just brings you away from the wall a little bit, and I think I like how it feels a little bit better. So again, you could use a book. Use a light book. That's the nice thing about these blocks. Notice I'm using my foam block, not my cork block. These cork ones are heavy. It'll still work, but it's just a little bit of work to kind of keep it up there. So, all right. Let's see, I've got to figure out where is a good place for me to stand so that you can see me well. I think I'll just stand here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, up against the wall, I'm going to bring my hand, and I hope my hand is probably going to be out of the view. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it on my knees. I want you to do it standing, but I think I'm going to be out of the frame if I stand because, again, I have really long arms. So with my right hand, I'm going to be nice and close to the wall. Lots of explanation on this stuff today. Sorry about that. Nice and close to the wall. I'm going to take my shoulder blade and slide the shoulder blade into my back pocket. So the tip of the shoulder blade is into my back pocket. Keep your tailbone tucking under. You're going to actively push into the block. So your palm is flat into the block. You're going to push into the block as hard as you can for 10 seconds. Here we go. So hopefully you've set yourself up. You could be standing. I'm just showing you this way so that I'm actually in the screen. Okay, here we go. We're going to push into the block, squeeze your rib cage together, tuck your tailbone under. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. You're going to do that same thing on the other side. So shifting yourself over, make sure your arm is straight up and down. Drive your shoulder blade into your back pocket, tuck the tailbone under, and push. Active push into the block for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. All right, so this time you're going to take your block, and it's still going to be up on the wall, but you're going to put your pinky side of your hand on the block. Your palm is facing in. Okay, nothing else has changed, just the shape of your hand. Again, tuck your tailbone under, feel your lower belly lift. You're going to push into the block, keep driving the tip of the shoulder blade into your back pocket for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Now you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Pinky side of your hand on the block, thumb back, palm in, and here we go. Drive the tip of the shoulder blade into your back pocket and push for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Okay, we're going to do this exact same thing, but instead of the block straight up, you're going to take the block at like the 10 and 2, similar to what we did with the legs. So I have my left arm up, so my block is going to go about 10 o'clock. Palm facing the block. Again, drive the shoulder blade into the back pocket. Feel your rib cage sliding down. Push actively into the block. Here we go for 10, 9. You're standing close to the wall, so you're not using the strength of your whole body, just the strength of your arm to push into the block. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. And coming to the other side, I've got to shift over a little bit here. So with your right hand, your block is about 2 o'clock. And then we're going to push. Drive the tip of the shoulder blade into the back pocket and push for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back to the left hand and 10 o'clock with your block. Thumb is going to face up, palm is facing in. The pinky side of your hand is on the block. Drive the tip of the shoulder blade into the back pocket, tuck your tailbone, and push. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Switch to the right arm. You're at 2 o'clock with the block. Again, you could just be pushing onto the wall. That would work. Tuck the tailbone under, slide the shoulder blade down, and push. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Okay, let me check my time. So what we're doing is we're just really trying to activate the shoulder blades. Rhomboids are behind the shoulder, or in between the shoulder blades. We're trying to activate those muscles to slide down. You have muscles here. Your traps, your trapezius kind of come all the way down. We're working those muscles as well. The lats on the side, we're also working those muscles. So just a lot of activation, okay, that we're working. We're going to stretch that out just a little bit, okay? So, like I said, my stream is 30 seconds behind because the way I have to do it on my laptop, it's very goofy to watch myself 30 seconds behind. Grab onto your right elbow. Let your hand go right down your back. And you're going to lift your chest and lift your head, okay? So from the side, I'm lifting up and feel a nice big stretch to your triceps. Finish your exhale, switch to the other side. Grabbing the elbow, make sure that your gaze is toward the horizon or even up a little rather than down to the ground. And finish your exhale. Release. We're going to do a little Michael Phelps here. You're going to swing your arms in front and behind. So crossing one arm on top, switching each side, okay? Little cross. I guess he's like hanging off of the board to dive into the pool, but you get the picture. And now you'll interlace your fingers behind you, squeeze your palms together, lift your chest, gaze up and look back. And release your gaze back down. Keep your hands together, chin to chest, just to stretch out the back of your neck. And release. All right, hopefully shoulders feel pretty good. we're going to do a standing figure 4 as kind of a balance move, and then also to stretch out the outer hip because we did a good bit of work there. But we're going to practice kind of trying to come into the pose without using your hand if possible, and then coming out of the pose with control, okay? So here's sort of our one balancing posture today. So standing root down, your left leg is going to stay down. We'll start with the right leg. You're going to lift your right knee up, and then open your knee, bring your heel up, try to bring it toward your thigh as high as you can. Start to bend into your standing leg. As you bend into your standing leg, sometimes the right hip wants to start to dip down, and then the knee starts to dip, and you shift off to the other side. Think about your sits bones reaching, both of them equally reaching backwards, okay? So my lower belly is pushing straight back through my tailbone as I come down. Keep flexing your right foot. Keep your shoulders nice and relaxed, coming down as low as you can. If you want to come down a little bit lower and work towards bending your knee, reaching your elbows over your shin and placing your hands toward the ground. Maybe you have access in your hip for that. Again, don't let your right hip start to dip down. Keep reaching both sits bones straight back. When you feel ready, you're going to come back up, lifting up with control. So as low as you were, try to lift up. Keep your foot there as long as you can. Come straight up. Then bring the knee up. And then release your leg back down. So just changing things a little bit. All right, root through your right leg. Lift your left leg. Feel your lower belly have to work here. And then open the knee, bringing the heel toward your thigh as much as you can. One side's going to be way more available. And then you're going to bend into the knee. I'm really tempted to pull my leg up. This is my side that just isn't as available as the other side. So sending both sits bones back equally. Notice your lower belly lifting off of your thighs. Again, if you want to reach down with your upper body, reaching your arms over your shin as much as you can. Keeping active through your belly. Your lower belly still lifting even if your hands are on the ground. Finish your exhale, and then we'll slowly lift back up. Again, lifting your chest up. Keep your leg coming toward a straight leg. And then let your knee come up to release. All right, law of twos. I don't really know if that's a thing, but it's going to be today. Second one is always a little bit more available because your body's been through it. So we're going to do it one more time. Ground through your left leg. Lift the right. Open. Bring it in. Bend into it. Feel yourself hinging at your hips equally. Coming down where you can. Yeah, nice. It feels better, doesn't it? I can tell. Okay, almost there. Finish your exhale. Slowly work your way out. Trying to keep your leg up on your extended leg. And then knee is going to lift to release. Ground through your right foot. Lift your left knee. Open the leg. Bring your heel in. Oh, I'm losing it. Bend down. Yep, losing it. All right. I hope you recovered. Bending as low as you can. Both sits bones equal. Maybe touching down. Keep flexing your left toes in. Keep your lower belly active, not rooting to the ground, but lifting up. Finish your exhale and start working your way back up. Keep the leg Come to a stand and then knee up to release. Well, that was nice. I always like to kind of tuck my toes under after a standing pose. Okay, kids. We're going to transition into pigeon. So I'm going to face the side. Let's go through a downward facing dog. We haven't even done a down dog, not one. So find your way to downward facing dog. You'll notice that your calves are probably a little bit feeling what we did. So give yourself some time, bending into one heel or one leg, pressing the opposite heel down, stretching out the other side, lengthening and opening, extending through your shoulders. Keeping your hips rocking side to side. All right, when you're ready, inhale, right leg high, stack your hip, flex your heel to your bum. Now, if you want to flip your dog here and open up your hip flexors, I would recommend it if you're comfortable with it. So keep letting your right foot rotate to the ground, lift your hips up as you look back. So right arm is reaching up over your head, maybe to the ceiling. Push into your heels to lift your hips nice and high. One more breath. Release your gaze back, unwind, inhale your right leg back high, and then swing it through for pigeon. Right foot goes toward your left wrist, knee toward your right wrist. And then you do your thing on pigeon. So maybe you'll fold, maybe you'll twist, maybe you'll take king pigeon. Up to you. Inhale, lift your head and your heart. And as you exhale, hinging forward. Or twisting, whatever you need. Maintain a nice softness to your shoulders, softness to your breath. Make sure your face is relaxed. Take 2 more breaths. Finishing your exhale, peel your way up off of the ground. Inhale, lift your head and your heart. And exhale, we'll take it through a downward facing dog. Shake your leg out. When you're ready, inhale your left leg high. Let your left hip stack on top of the right as you flex your heel to your bum. And then if you wanted to flip your dog, your left heel will keep coming to the ground as your right foot rotates, lifting your hips up nice and high. Your arm can either come up over your head or it can lift up toward the ceiling if that feels better. Keep pushing the ground away. Keep pushing into your heels to lift your hips. One more exhale, slowly unwind. Inhale your left leg high and bring it through for pigeon. Foot goes to your right wrist, knee goes to your left. And then work your way down. Set your pigeon up well, back knee is down. Inhale, lifting your head and your heart. And exhale, reaching forward. If you folded, you're going to want to mirror what you did on the other side. So if you folded forward on the other side, do that here. If you played with a different shape, make sure you even your side out. Allow your body to let go for 2 more breaths. Finishing your exhale, walk your way back up. Inhaling into your pigeon and take it through downward facing dog. Bringing life back to your leg. We're going to come through. You can work your way through to a seated pose. I'm going to kind of flip around. Legs out extended. We'll come into a seated forward fold. Make sure your sits bones are firmly grounded. Keep your knees soft if that helps you to really feel the stretch in your hamstrings and not just behind the knees. Inhale, arms high, and reach long over your legs. Forward fold, coming as low as you can. Walk your hips back one more time, and then folding down. One more exhale. Finishing your exhale, come all the way up. We're going to work our way all the way down, okay? Rolling down, one vertebrae at a time. So arms are extended. Start to tuck your tailbone under, rolling onto the other sides of your sits bones, going nice and slow. Keep your shoulders relaxed, trying to roll all the way down to the ground with control. And come right into your Shavasana. Finding a comfortable shape for your Shavasana. If you have both two blocks with you and you would like to support your Shavasana, you can place the blocks underneath your calves or your knees. I like calves a little bit better. Just takes the pressure off of your low back and allows your low back to be nice and flat. Releasing. Whatever Shavasana pose is most comfortable to you. If you have a wall right next to you and you'd like to put your legs up the wall, that would be a great shape to take as well. Allow yourself a couple of breaths just to settle into your Shavasana. Trying to turn off the active engagement of your muscles. Become aware of the rise and the fall of your inhale and exhale. Give yourself 2 more deep breaths. Really pull as much air as you can in on your inhale. Slow, long exhale. And finding a bit of movement here, fingers, toes, wrists, and ankles. Give yourself a good morning stretch. Reach your arms over your head. Inhaling, reach long. And exhale, let it go into the ground, curling onto one side. Allowing yourself to come up to a seated pose. Sitting comfortably. We'll take 2 breaths to finish out class together. Bring your hands to heart center. You can keep your eyes closed if you feel comfortable. Take a deep inhale, get as much air in as you can. Full inhale, hold your inhale at the top. Noticing space between your breath. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. Bringing your hands up to third eye center. One more, big inhale. Hold on to it. Open mouth, let it go. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you feel active, activated, and mobile. Have a lovely Friday. Namaste.